Hello, you're watching James. My name's James. You're watching me, and I am talking about watches. Well, I can't believe it's coming up to that time already, the time for the first big sale from Aliexpress. This one being the anniversary sale put together or put out there in the end of March. Now, I'm going to put a couple of videos together in regards to this upcoming sale, but I thought I'd do something a little bit different for this first video. What I wanted to do is get back to my roots in regards to buying watches from Aliexpress and look at the much more sort of budget end of the market. So every watch you're going to see today is going to be under $200. Now, I'm going to give myself a little bit of leeway, and it's going to be under $200 US. That way I've got a little bit more wiggle room. However, most of the ones I am going to talk about today are well and truly under that $200. Now, as always with these sorts of videos, I have not handled any of these particular watches, so I'm not specifically recommending them to you. However, I'm just trying to draw your attention to them. If, however, you see these watches and you think, yeah, that's pretty cool, I want to buy one of those, well, first of all, wait for that sale. It's not far away. But secondly, I'm going to leave some affiliate links down below. If you choose to click on them and buy through those links, I earn a tiny little bit of commission, and I do thank you so much for doing so. Also, if you're watching this video and you're not a subscriber, well, I'd love for you just to click on that subscribe button. That would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you for your support. But let's jump into these 10 watches from Aliexpress under $200 US. Okay, so I'm going to use my trusty notepad as I do with these videos because I can't remember all this stuff inside my head. First watch is from Hruodland, a watch brand which I quite like, mainly because of one particular watch, but I'm quite keen to buy another one from them. This is the F018 Classic. It is $200 Australian, so well under that $200 US. It is a square-shaped 40mm case diameter, comes with a seagull automatic movement, 22mm lug width, 100 meters of water resistance, comes in black, blue, red, green, with or without logo, depending on what you would like to choose. Small sub-second dial, which I do particularly like. I think that really gives a watch a bit of an interest factor. And I would definitely, if I was going to be picking one, would pick the blue one with the logo. I think it's quite a funky looking watch, a little bit different, and it's certainly on the affordable sort of scale of watches. Now, I've been noticing more and more chronograph watches on AliExpress, and so many of them are really good looking, and I'm really sort of impressed by how many there are. This one here I'm going to be talking about is the Surgess. It's $280 Australian dollars, so pushing up to that $200 US mark. It is the 1963, comes in that sort of classic Plander look, a 40mm case diameter, seagull hand winding chronograph movement, has that see-through case back so you can see that amazing movement as well. Sapphire crystal, only 30 meters of water resistance, but this style of watch you're not really going to take swimming, are you? Now, there are two main options in regards to movements for this one. As I mentioned, it's got that seagull chronograph movement, but you can buy it with or without the swan neck. When you get the one with the swan neck, it costs you a little bit more money for that extra little bit of technology. Next, we're looking at Tandorio. And honestly, if I'm looking at affordable watches, budget watches on AliExpress, Tandorio is one of the watches that I'm always going to look at because, in my experience, they're some of the best value budget watches on AliExpress. This one here is the Military Pilot, only $100 Australian dollars, so that's really well priced. 39mm case diameter, sapphire crystal, comes with the NH35 for that 100, or for a little bit more money you can get the PT5000 movement. Has 200 meters of water resistance, 20mm lug width. You can get it with or without the logo, and this is the kind of watch, especially at this sort of price, that would make an awesome mechanical daily watch. If you like the look of that Tandorio but you actually want a quartz version, well, there's one by Baltany that looks particularly good. It is the D12 military style. As I mentioned, it is a quartz watch. 39mm case diameter, has that sub-second hand, which is really cool. The VD78 Quartz movement, 200 meters of water resistance, and 18mm lug width, which is a little bit small, but on this watch, I think it looks perfectly fine. You can get it in black, white, or a blue dial. This is a great looking watches, and these Baltany Quartz watches are getting a lot of positivity online. Now, the next one is from Seastern, and I've owned this one before, and I really, really liked it, and I absolutely rate it. And for $260 Australian dollars, I don't think you can go wrong, especially if you like this style of watch. This one is the Seastone Sub 300T. It's available in multiple colors, but I particularly like the orange because it kind of suits this style of watch. 40mm case diameter, 20mm lugs, 200 meters of water resistance, this being a dive watch, obviously. A sapphire crystal, comes with the Seiko NH35 movement. And a little bit of an interesting part about this watch is that date wheel is lume, so you get a little lume date there, which I think is really cool. And a watch that gets a lot of attention, especially in regards to these budget watches from AliExpress, is the Steeldive Captain Willard Homage. This one here is well and truly known to be one of the best budget watches available on AliExpress because it's only 120 Australian dollars, well under that that $200 mark that I set for myself, but it has a 44mm case diameter, but it has a really short lug to lug. So even though it sounds big, it fits on most wrists. NH35 movement, so we've got a Seiko movement in there, 200 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal, a ceramic bezel insert, which is really cool. Great clicks on these ones as well. I've owned one of these ones and it has a really good bezel movement, bezel action. Comes in black, green and blue, and you can get it on either a bracelet or a couple of different styles of rubber straps. Now, another one that I've owned and one of the best value watches that I've ever come across on AliExpress is this Escapement Time Type A or Type B fliegers. This is the 40mm case diameter version, which I've owned for a long time, and I really rate this watch. Only 220 Australian dollars, 100 meters of water resistance, comes with the PT5000 movement, sapphire crystal, and honestly, if you like this style of watch and you are on a budget, this is the best version of these kind of watches that you can find. But if you're not after a pilot and you're after maybe a homage of a particularly well-known watch, well, this one here by Cronos is probably one of the best quality at the best price and value options. This one here is the Kronos Sub. It is 40mm case diameter, comes with the NH35 movement as well, sapphire crystal, 200 meters of water resistance, only 260 Australian dollars. It comes with a full stainless steel bracelet and a glide lock style clasp. This one here is absolutely fantastic, and for that price I don't think you can go wrong if you like this particular sort of homage style watch. Now let's talk about my favorite Pagani design watch. I've owned lots of Pagani design watches and this one still remains my absolute favorite of all of them. This one here is the PDYS003 Pilot. Yes, I like pilot watches. I don't think this particularly looks specifically like a pilot, but I understand why they call it the Pilot. It's only 105 Australian dollars as well. That's an absolute bargain for this amazing watch. Comes with the NH35 movement, or you can get it with a Miyota movement as well, depending on which one you would like. Has a 41mm case diameter, sapphire crystal, 200 meters of water resistance, and there's a few different color variations. I particularly like the white dial with the blue hands. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Worth keeping in mind, however, the strap on this one is not so good. You're probably likely to be wanting to swap that one out. And lastly is my absolute favorite affordable San Martin watch. This watch I've owned before and I really rate it. It is an affordable, good looking, fun watch to wear, and it's a really good daily watch. This one here is the SN022-G. It is 280 Australian dollars, so it is pushing that sort of limit of this $200 market sort of range, but I think it's a really good watch for this money. 38mm case diameter, it's only 44.5mm lug to lug, so it's going to fit pretty much any wrist. Comes with the YN55 movement, which I've really enjoyed. I've owned in a few watches now I'm very happy with. Full stainless steel bracelet and full milled clasp, 100 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal, black dial, which is the one that I went for, which I like, but there's also a full aluminum dial if you like that particular thing. One of the best watches at the price that I've ever come across. Now, today's video has been about the more budget end of watches and a few that I've even owned before. Now, I wanted to include those ones because they are some of the best that I have ever owned from AliExpress. But stay tuned, because coming up next after this video, my next release is actually going to be my personal AliExpress anniversary sale wish list. But stay tuned to that one, and as always, I really do appreciate you watching my videos, and I do hope to see you in the next video.